the Nerd TV for the FTSR Martin Sports Truck Series here, coming at you live from the simulated Las Vegas Speedway for race number 3 of 13 for the 2023 A season. Kick this thing off. We got a pretty good race tonight. Going to be 65 degrees on the weather, in the air, and on the track 68 degrees, with up to 10-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So haven't seen this much wind in a little bit. Coming from the simulator. So, 10 mile an hour with a truck that has no weight in the rear end could cause some havoc for these guys. Currently, right now, though, with a cooler track temp, we're seeing some really good practice all the way around the circuit. My name, coming at you live as your primary commentator, Mr. Jeremy Stanley. And to my right, joining me once again, Mr. Tim Tripler from T1S Racing. How are you doing over there tonight, my guy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to see another one of these amazing truck races at a track that is on my bucket list to visit.
I have enough money myself, maybe. It's not technically my bucket list, but anytime you go to Las Vegas, it's a good time. Want to recap the first couple races. Ryan Chapman coming into this race, P1 on the standings overall, 4 points ahead of newcomer Tommy Schaefer. And then Michael Blackner, fresh off his win last week from California. Only 8 points behind your points battle. So I know we're only a couple races in, but these seasons are only 13 races long, Tim. So you got to be thinking points from the get-go.
Yeah, of course, especially, when you do got a mixture of different tracks in there. Some people are going to have their short track specialties where they're really good at, and then they're going to struggle on these 1.5 mile, 2 mile tracks. And it's going to be definitely interesting to see how each race does play out, and to see, the implications it does have as we go from different track to different track here as the season progresses.
Yeah, there's a huge variation. They follow the actual NASCAR schedule, and NASCAR's been getting a little better at throwing out some variations out here, like Bristol Dirt coming up next month, and got a super speedway at Talladega toward the end of the season. So it's going to test the skills of these guys for sure, as we see them. We've done this over a year now at FTSR, so you kind of know what to expect. Even though with a lot of new faces, we're still seeing the same results. Some really strong racing overall. If it's for the lead or if it's for 10th or 20th. We got over 30 guys registered for the third race of the season, which typically leagues start off strong at Daytona and then have some driver fall off toward the middle of the season. You don't see that here. These guys stay consistently in the upper 20s, lower 30s. Shows how well of a place this place is to race at, really. We're going to kick it back over to Ryan Chapman because he is your points leader, so kind of intrigued to see him up here in the front. Currently sitting P7 in practice. Now, I've noticed, Tim, these practice times are a little bit more spaced out than what we're used to. The leader right now, TJ Bartel, running at 29.9. And you just go back to 10th place, and he's running 30.2, so you got a 0.3 of a second separation just outside your top 10, and then it kind of trickles down even more so. I think I might have to do something with the weather. With that 10-mile-an-hour wind gust, you go into a corner, very stable wind condition, and the wind hits you in the back all of a sudden. Could throw you a loop for tonight.
It definitely could, especially with this being, run what you brung open setups here. It definitely could have, some implications. We could see some trucks do very, very good on the short run here with that amount of wind coming at them. But when it comes to a long run, which this series normally does have every race, you never know what you're going to see coming out of these trucks with the different setups that they do have in them.
And speaking of the long green flag runs, we do, if you now joining us for the first time here in 2023 to watch FTSR, the truck series on Wednesdays and Mondays presented by Mach 1 Performance, we have stage breaks. And tonight your stage break will come at lap 40. And then they go green the rest of the way after that to do 134 laps around this 1.5 mile speedway. So you do get that break. And these trucks only get 4 set of tires, and we kind of saw it last week on Monday, or just a couple nights ago, rather, where tires became an issue. They had 4 cautions, plus they had the stage break, and some teams had to stay out, do like 2 tires here on one stop, 2 tires on the other to kind of make sure they had the tires to make it the rest of the way. So if we have more than a few cautions tonight, just like we did on Monday, Tim, you gotta watch that tire count.
Of course, with the limited amount of tire sets that these drivers do get, you never know what they're going to do. If you do take rights, how's it going to play out? And especially once the track heats up, what it's going to do to the truck, whether you take lefts or you do just take rights or you take all 4s. You really have to, practice that out and test that out with your team just to see what best fits you guys for the long run and/or short runs that we're going to see here tonight.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to see some really long runs, maybe a couple of quick cautions. It's always a grab bag when you got a bunch of new guys trying to race with the old vets. You're not so comfortable around these guys, but we're going to kick it over to qualifying here. We're going to stay on board with TJ Bartel, see if we can get his lap in. He did win practice, so we kind of like to highlight the winner of practice anyways, see what he can do in qualifying. Right now, as we're waiting for any driver to really jump on the track. We're going to switch it over to Casey McMullen. I think the 71, since we're waiting on TJ to join on the surface. 71, Mr. Casey McMullen in that Blackwater Products Chevrolet Silverado. Last season, in Season A, rather, for 2022, we did mention last week that he had a really strong start and, being P2 in practice here. I'm having some pretty good hopes for this guy, Tim. He kind of fell off in the middle of the season, but we know this guy can carry some speed around a lot of these tracks. And he's showing it here for 2023.
Absolutely, and it could definitely play into strategy. You could definitely want to. What I like to do is start off small, don't let them see what you got, and then coming in towards the end of the season, you finish strong. This way, you let the guys wear out their stuff. They wear out their trucks. They wear out their tires, and each race you just eat little by little, back your way up towards the top of the charts here. And we're going to see if that's definitely the strategy he is playing, because I have seen him be very, very strong to start here this season, especially back to Daytona.
Yeah, he is definitely one of those guys who know how to play the strategy in his favor. And one of these, Las Vegas could be one of those tracks. Depends on how the cautions fall, really, and the fuel mileage and whatnot. If we see multiple cautions, expect this guy to be up front late, doing some magical work with his crew to make sure he's up toward the front, toward the end of the race. He's coming to the end of his second lap here, crossing the line. Looks like he's going to be scored P6 so far. Stephen Hollingsworth currently holds the grid spot number 1. Oh, take that back. My time just updated. Case McMullen now goes up to P1 on the charts, which is 30.280. So let's see if we can hold that, as we got about 22 guys currently qualifying, at least with 1 lap completed or more.
Of course, it definitely is going to be interesting to see what the guys that do end up qualifying towards the rear of the field normally do, because in this series you have seen guys come from 25th on back, and within the first 50, 60 laps, they are contending for that top 5 spot. So it is definitely going to be interesting to see what everybody does do here, whether they got, maybe the truck isn't set up to qualify, maybe it's set up to just race. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because we have seen, like I said, those guys from 25th on back come up out of nowhere and just contend for the race lead.
Yeah, there's so many drivers at California Cup Series and in the trucks where we saw, I think, we saw 3 guys who started in the 20s or back finished inside the top 10. We saw a couple of guys from the top 5 finish back mid-pack. Again, that's part of the team strategy. They go into these things. They have these things planned out a week in advance. They know what they're doing. As long as the cautions or lack of cautions fall their way, you're going to see them, make that strategy work for them. As we talked about that, TJ Bartel does end up in 9th as he completed his lap number 2. Brody Hanna right now, currently P1 on the board with a 30.234. Holds it just barely over newcomer Randy Henshaw on the 32. And actually, as I say that, Tommy Schaefer and Ryan Chapman take over 2nd and 3rd place, respectively. 29 was your pick, Tim, last week. What are you thinking for him tonight in that 29?
I'm gonna give him the old nod tonight as well. I think he's definitely gonna have a strong truck, especially based on those 2 laps there in qualifying. I definitely think he's going to be somebody to watch out for. Maybe he's going to play it safe at the beginning and be there at the end, but I definitely think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for this race.
And as qualifying does wind down, we have about 40 seconds left. We're going to stay on board with the 91 here, see what he can do on the track. I want to shout out our series sponsor for tonight, Martin Sports, small company with a big time product, home of the sim gloves of all of sim racing. They make the most breathable and durable gloves on the sim racing world. So if you're looking to pick up something like that or any one of their customized jerseys, head over to martinsports906.com. Use that promo code SuperNerd, 25% off anything you purchase. Over from Scott Martin's place, it's Martin Sports. Once again, that's martinsports906.com. And we also got the chats open as well. We always do every week for you guys. This week on YouTube, we see a couple people. Jessica Stubblefield always showing up early for Stubbs Nation, saying, let's go Stubbs. We got Amarelli saying, let's go Ammonia Motorsports, or Omnia Motorsports, rather. And then Braden Ron also saying, let's go Chapman. He's rooting that guy on, currently your points leader after 2 races. And it looks like these guys are starting to grid up. We're going to go down the starting order for tonight's event here for the Las Vegas 200. Brody Hanna taking P1 on the boards here. Tommy Schaefer on his outside in second place. Ryan Chapman in third. Randy Hinshaw in fourth. Bobby Terrell in fifth. Cody McKinney sixth. Richie Coyne seventh. Eighth place, Casey McMullen. Starting in ninth, Douglas Hess. And to round out top 10, John Gifford. Who do you got 10 through 11 through 20?
So in the 11th, we got the 42 of Kyle Milliken. Starting 12th, we have the 1 of TJ Bartel. In 13th, we have the 02 of Josh Mayu. Michael Blackner in the 22 will start 14th. With the 51 of Brendan Elder starting 15th. Starting 16th, we have the 99 of Stephen Hollinsworth. Tony Soler in the 11 will take 17th position. And the 17 of Stephen Loomis will start 18th. The 3 of Brian Bliss will start 19th. Lane Allen in the 14 will start 20th. Back to you, Justin.
21st, Alan Daronco. 22nd, Sherwood Williford. 23rd place, Chad Curran, if I can talk right. 24th place, Jeff Brayton. 25th place, Timothy Stubblefield. 26th, Justin Diltz. 27th, Rick Webb. 28th, Joshua O'Connor. 29th, Maxwell Solsch. 30th place, Andrew Cowart. 31st, Gene Cullum. 32nd, Brian Hoskins. 33rd, Leonard Stang. 34th, Joseph McKinney. 35th in the last truck rather, to put down a qualifying time, Steve Ang. And somehow, Mr. Tim, you entered tonight's race, and they got you 36. What do you think your odds are for this evening?
You know, I just got to get that starting park money. That's really all it is, Definitely coming from that underfunded T1S racing, so we got to make sure we get that starting park money.
Well, I'm glad they put the producer's microphone in your helmet to do that starting park. You're coming in loud and clear on my end there, guy. These guys are starting to roll off for their 1-lap pace lap, like always, before they tackle 134 laps at Las Vegas. My pick for tonight, I think, is going to be that guy starting P1. He's had a really good, strong start to the season in the truck and cup. He won at Daytona in the cup. He had a couple of issues at California, was able to recoup for the most part. Put on a really strong start anyways. The finish, he wished he could have a couple ones better, but you can't win them all. But I think overall this guy is going to be a strong contender for this evening.
Definitely, but I am definitely going to stick with my pick of the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. I picked him last week, and I'm going to double that down tonight here. Definitely is going to be fueled by that Roasted Gems coffee that I was just drinking about 3 cups of today. And let me tell you, that stuff wired me.
Yeah, no, I agree there. I got a really strong, or not strong, but a really tasty mocha flavor from Roasted Gems as well. And I don't have to agree with you. I don't drink 3 cups, but that 1 cup keeps me going for hours on end. So I'm going to have to agree with you just on that 1 cup alone. But the pace car is dipping down right now. Waiting for premature Patrick to throw that green flag. He probably already is. Yep, there he is, waiting for the actual green flag. Official flag is flying in the session, and he is waving that thing. And Mr. Brody Hanna gets a great start, about a truck length over that 29 as they head off into turn number 1, Timmy.
And as I head into turn number 1, it looks like the 29 of Tommy Schaefer is going to hang around right on that quarter panel of that 23. Let's see if he gets that top run down the back, or see if he's going to fall in line here. But it looks like they are going to go side by side into turn number 3 here, with the 27 peeking below the 29, and we do have that 32 rocking the top above that 4 truck.
We got a multiple truck wreck exiting turn number 4 here. 3, 4, 5 trucks. It's still piling in. 6, 7 trucks involved in this thing as he scattered all the way from the outside wall down to the pit road stretch. Massive pile up here to start the very first lap of the 3rd race of the season. That all started about 10th place, Tim. We saw a truck. I'm trying to figure out who it was. I think it was a black and gray truck with a red number, if I'm looking correctly. Got loose, and with everyone right on his tail, just nowhere to go. And a huge wreck here to start off this race.
Yeah, of course, it looks like I'm not getting my Chick-fil-A tonight either, as it looks like the 21 of Gene Cullum was involved in that wreck as well. So scratch off my option of Chick-fil-A for dinner tonight.
At least you don't have to worry about your dinner plans from the get-go. You don't have to worry about it until the last minute like you did last week. But
Yeah, that was fun though. It was definitely worth it in the end.
we're getting multiple views of this wreck right here from Brian Bliss's view. Goes down super low and able to avoid it before the chaos happened behind him. Well, everyone started to space out going down to pit road up against the wall. It was just a massive traffic jam here on board this time. Justin Diltz, at least from the TV camera here, as he gets pounded by the 59. Hits another truck going down. You see the door checking right there as all the trucks reappear. Just massive pileup. 99, 59, 89, 27. Looks like the 5 there rolling in at the last minute. At least 7 or 8 trucks overall.
They hit so hard they teleported.
That is the voice of our sponsor for tonight, Martin Sports, Mr. Scott Martin, coming in. Yeah, they definitely had a little bit of teleportation there. You're not wrong. They just all of a sudden appeared up on the camera.
I just figured I'd drop in on these boys and check this league out.
Well, welcome aboard, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, thanks. Been busy, but I heard these guys run a really good series, and heard Timmy's going to be in the booth tonight. Saw that Dustin was producing, and you were yapping, so I figured I would stop in and see what all the hype's about. And maybe that was just the nerves. You get those shook out, and then they're going to give us a good race.
Well, from this point forward, a lot of those trucks can get repaired and back up and running because you hate to see so many trucks out so early, at least with damage. So hopefully they take this time and get their stuff repaired, and just maybe a lot of them get back up to speed. Thanks for stopping in, Mr. Scott.
Yes, sir. You boys, I'll try to pop back in. I'm going to go run another open and see how that goes. But wish everybody here the best of luck. You guys have a good broadcast, and I hope you guys have a fun race.
Appreciate him, guy.
Have a great night, Scott.
You too.
And that was the voice of Martin Sports owner Scott Martin coming and saying hi for us during that caution break. But Tim, what a huge pileup. I think I went back and I tried to count as many as I could. I think I got 10 trucks involved in that one. Not too many with heavy damage, at least visually. I didn't see a lot of huge damage, but you never know what the internals look like in these things.
Yeah, of course. The way these trucks are designed, you can absolutely hit the rear quarter panel and it damage your motor in these trucks. They are very sensitive in certain aspects, but the one good thing, and I've always liked this, is if you wreck early in a race like this, you definitely do have time to fix most of your damage and fight back piece by piece, especially if there are other wrecks here in the near future in this race. Those trucks that did wreck early do have a chance to make back some of those spots. They might not be able to contend for that win here, but they would definitely be able to get some spots back.
And looking at the number 20 Douglas Hess, he exits pit road for the second time to get that thing repaired. That was the guy who did start it all by getting loose in the middle of 3, and that's when the checkup happened, and you couldn't go anywhere. He's got a lot of damage to his left side. You can actually see the tire stick outside the left front fender. That means that fender's pushed in. It's going to be a lot less aerodynamic. The downforce will not be there in the corners, so I would imagine that truck's going to be a little bit pushy for the whole entire race after that, and the left rear is pushed in a little bit as well. So it's taking some of that spoiler out of the air. So with the damage, I don't think that thing's going to be aerodynamically efficient, but not a good start for a lot of these guys as they're back up double file, just with less than a lap to go before we go back to green.
Of course, I'm looking over here in our Facebook chat. Caleb Roach did just say, Roasted Gems is 100% the best coffee I have ever had. And I can actually attest to the fact that he has tried about 7 different flavors so far of Roasted Gems coffee. So he's definitely had a bunch of it to experience. And for him to say that really shows how good Roasted Gems really is.
Yeah, no kidding there for sure. Shout out to Roasted Gems, by the way, since we're talking about them. Start your day the right way with Roasted Gems at roastedgems.com. Use Super Nerds at checkout. Gives you 10% off anything that you purchase from roastedgems.com. We're about to go back to green flag. Pace car does dip down, waiting for Premature Patrick to throw that flag for the second time in 5 laps. Green flag is officially out. The 23, Brody Hanna, gets a better start than what he did that first restart over the 29. 29 caught sleeping a little bit. The 27 there, Ryan Chapman, current points leader, gets a great start, clears the 29. And now Bobby Trail on the 4 is trying to pass the 29 coming through 2.
As we see that, we do see the 28 suck right up to the bumper of the 4. We're going to see if he's going to push it 3 wide going into 3, or if he's going to sit there and be peaceful going into 3, as it looks like he is going to just let off just a little bit to give that 4 room. We do see that 19 back there as well of Richie Coy getting ready to go side by side with the 28 right here at the start-finish line as they head back into turn number 1. We're going to see if the 46 can capitalize.
Side by side for 3 rows straight back here, coming through 1 and 2. Turn 1 and 2, that upper to middle lane is almost the preferred route on the long runs, especially. When you come to turn 3 and 4, it's a 50-50 mix. I usually have more luck on the bottom, but some people can make that top rotate for them. Coming through the exit of turn 4 now, and some of these trucks show that early speed there in the middle groove there as they kind of bog down the bottom. They come back through turn number 1 here on lap number 8, still side by side. You got the 4, the Bobby Trail, and the 28 as well of Cody McKinney. They will not let each other go. They've been now side by side for like 2.5 laps straight. And behind them as well as they just now get cleared of each other. 46, John Gifford in the 71 of Casey McMullen. Now trying to battle for their position just inside the top 10.
We're going to see what they could do. Is that 71 is an absolutely beautiful truck. You know, it's got that black and orange, my personal preference. So I'm hoping to see him make his way towards the front to give that black and orange truck some beautiful TV time here tonight. As we do see them, you know, kind of just side by side racing right now. Nobody's being too aggressive here. And back up at the front, I did notice that the 29 was challenging the 23 for the lead, but the 29 did give it back up to that 23 truck.
A little bit of a mess here coming off of 4. There's trucks starting to scatter out a little bit. I don't know if they're just getting really racy or if they're a little uncomfortable with their trucks. A little more formal formation going through turn 1 and 2 here. This time Casey McMullen, one of the highest running trucks, along with the 29, about 2/3 of the way up through the corner. Head off into turn number 3 this time. A couple of trucks like to take the mid groove. The 29, 28, 71, the 4 Bobby Trail really getting high. And then behind them, the 33 is Sherwood Williford also. He's no stranger to the top side of the track, now completing lap number 9, or 10 rather.
Of course, and it could be, those trucks with them running how close they are together here. It could be, a little bit of aerodynamics getting them loose, that off of their wing there from the nose to the truck behind them. It definitely could be playing a factor into why some of them are trying to space out. Some of them are trying to take the top, and some of them are trying to take the bottom here. As I do look here, and it looks like the 42 in front of him of Kyle Milliken does have rear end damage as well. So that could be definitely a factor to watch out for his truck's handling here as he tries to crank further into the top 10 here, sitting in currently 10th place.
Watch these trucks go around. A couple trucks seem to have figured it out. Some, to my knowledge, look like they're a little bit on the edge. Getting Bobby Trail here on the top of 3, getting passed by Kyle Milliken and one of the only yellow trucks, I think, in tonight's field. Going to be very easy to pick that 42 machine out here as he does complete that pass off of 4. He's going to move himself up to 9th place, starting 11th, so he's at 2 spots. I'm really surprised to see, well, probably not surprised, but it's such an early run here, like Sherwood Williford, the 22 starting place, now in P11, so he's already gained 11 spots from only 13 laps prior. Alan Duranko as well started 21st, currently running 13th, so a couple really fast movers. It wasn't due to the fact of that caution, though, with a lot of cars damaged, but at the same time, it's still impressive to see over 10 positions gained in just a handful of laps. As these guys, Tim, are still side by side for multiple positions within the top 10. You're seeing it on board right now. Casey McMullen at 71. A lot of side by side. It is 40 laps on this stage, so I guess we're expecting this is the new norm, is to have that really racy first stage here.
Absolutely, and as you touched on the biggest movers so far, I do want to go back to that 69 of Steve Ang in that beautiful black and another black and orange truck. But he did start in 35th spot, and he is actually up to, he was at 14th when I was looking, but now he has dropped back to 16th. So another one of those big movers. But back to the front up here, yeah, like you said, it is, you know, side by side. They are getting a little racy here, but definitely keeping it clean for the most part here. We did have that little scuffle back in the back of the pack earlier, but it seems like everybody has evened out and got the jitters out.
Going back to the YouTube chats here, we had Yopa J saying, "Good luck all, don't die." That was right before the huge wreck, and then he had a nice little chuckle about that. And then Braden Ron coming back saying, "Let's go Milliken," and also Doranko and Diltz. So it looks like Mr. Ron on the chat has a couple favorite drivers out here this evening. 3 of the 35 anyways. Also want to do a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Nerd Wraps, one of our newer partners. If you need a truck, car, or anything on the iRacing simulation that needs painted up with a custom paint from the top down, Nerd Wraps has you covered at a really good price point compared to the rest of the simulation competition and pricing of any paint car or paint job that you want. Head over to wraps.nerditudes.gg. They got you covered. That might be me taking care of it for you. Might not be. I can't confirm, but wraps.nerditudes.gg, we got you covered. And a little contact here with the race lead. The 23 and the 29 are 2 picks. Started 1 and 2. They are door to door. They had a little bit of apology for that contact early on. Getting really racy here for first place.
Yeah, of course, you know, things are starting to pick up here. It's a little bit earlier than I expected to see things start to pick up, as we are only on lap 18 and the stage break is at 40. So I definitely started to see things pick up after that stage break here, but we are going for it, as it looks like the 27, the 46, and the 71 are 3 wide right now, battling in the back here. That definitely could be something to keep our eye on, but it does look like they do sort it out and go back to side-by-side racing. But as you said, back to those Nerd Wraps. I heard there's a certain group called T1S Racing that may have a bunch of Nerd Wraps wrap cars, and we can't wait to show them all off.
Over 20 skins down and 20 more to go. That team is looking good with all the drivers on that team. Really good stuff over there. You know, the cars look good. The cars run fast. A lot of good guys over there at T1S Racing. I want to give a shout out as well. Side note here to Dustin, our producer. I didn't shout him out in the beginning. I should have, like I usually don't, but I usually should. Awesome camera work here, as you're seeing on board of Cody McKinney, right up on the back bumper of Mr. Schaefer, looking at the 23's right door panel. A lap prior, we saw the face cam of Schaefer going through. Oh, we got a wreck. Bobby Terrell, Kyle Milliken, 2 trucks heading to the outside wall, coming to the start-finish line. I think the only 2 trucks that were in this wreck, actually there's going to be a 3rd one involved as well. Let's see who that is. That looks like it's going to be the number, or is it going to be Brandon Elder, the 51. So 3 trucks involved in this caution. The second one tonight presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. It's coming off of turn 4. It's the 2nd time now. The turn 4 has caused issues. And man, oh, actually Tony Solari as well. Heavy nose contact to the side of the 4 of Bobby Terrell. That 4 truck is beat up on all sides. That's going to be huge for Mr. Terrell.
Absolutely. As I was just looking aboard Kyle Milliken in the 42 truck, it looks like he just got loose coming off of that corner and just took the right rear of that 4 truck up into that wall, and then just, you know, as that 4 came back down the track, it looks like chaos just ensued behind them.
Nowhere to go for that number 11 to Tony Solari. Just, you know, the trucks were up top. He went down low. He was actually below the white line on the apron. He thought he had all the time in the world, no problem. And then all of a sudden, Bobby just took a 90-degree angle and just completely cleaned him out with the 51. 4 trucks involved in this one. Huge pileup. Considering all, you see right there, slow-mo with Tony Solari. Then, boom, basically squared to the door panel. Good thing that's a virtual truck there, Tim. That would have been a very painful hit there for Bobby Terrell.
Yeah, of course. That was definitely brutal there between, you know, all of those hits all around. And it, like you said, just glad these trucks are virtual. That, you know, the only thing is you know, your hands may be a little sore after a hit like that, but nothing too serious.
As we got about 2 pace laps left, we're going to take it to a quick commercial break, picture-in-picture mode. Stand by after we thank a few of our sponsors. Welcome back to full screen coverage here for the Full Throttle Sim Racing 3rd race of the season for the Mark Sports Truck Series. So we're coming back right before the green flag flies for the 3rd time this evening. Currently on lap number 25, going to be taking the green flag on lap 26. During that commercial break, we saw 3 trucks park it and exit the server. Actually, 4 trucks as of just now. So Gene Collum, Stephen Hollingsworth, Bobby Terrell from that last track, and also Kyle Milliken from that last track. Too much damage to repair for the 4 and the 42. They will have to exit the event from that last incident. Tough to see, but too much damage to compete, and then you're going to be under speed if you're able to bring it back. But green flag is back in the air. This time, the 23 and the 29 flip-flop. 29, the Tommy Schaefer leads into the green flag. Gets a pretty decent start over the 23, as so far that lead choice is the way to go, because you can choose when to start in that restart zone. It's going to drop Brody Hanna back to 3rd place. The 28, Cody McKinney, going to take over 2nd place. And the 19, and Richie Coy going to fight his teammate here, going for 3rd place and entering turn 3.
Of course, that 19 of Richie Coy here said, let me put this Martin Sports truck to the front, and he looks like he is on a mission to do just that here as he looks to be taking over that third spot here. And, ooh, looks like he was just barely clear on that 40, on the nose of that 46 as they passed the 23 here. Going to see if he can secure that third place spot coming off of turn number 2 here. And it looks like that 46 will have a better run on the top side, so it doesn't look like he'll be able to do that. Going down into turn number 3, and they race side by side, coming to the line, Jeremy.
Brody kind of helped 19 of Richie Coy get into the turn 3, try to get in the most speed possible. The 28 there, Cody McKinney, showing some awesome speed. He basically tangled the 29 of Schaefer down the whole back straightaway. Decided to not try to make that pass early on. Runs just a half a groove up higher than the 29, allows the 28 to get a much better run. This time the 23 is going to carry the 46 right behind these guys. 46, John Gifford, second right now, or second from last week's race, having a really strong performance here again at Las Vegas, not counting the super speedway. This 46 punch in John Gifford's team, really strong speed on these speedways.
As it looks like he's going to make that pass, try to get that nose under that 28 of Cody McKinney. Doesn't look like he will have enough power to do so off of turn number 2, as it looks like that top line is just hooked up. And we did see that 19 of Richie Coy stuck down there by himself that last lap. So maybe you've got to just work on that top side and just see what kind of runs you can get to build up and pass everybody. As you can see, he is trying here to pass Brody Hanna in that 23, but don't know if he's going to be able to do it by himself. It does look like he may be able to need just a little bit of drafting help here.
Brody Hanna just all over the back bumper of McKinney here, as you saw him go through 3 and 4 off the nose camera, or the roof camera of the 46, John Gifford. 28, I'm surprised that truck didn't get loose. Had been no air left over on that rear end of the truck. I was able to make the grip happen, and all of a sudden, swoo, with a nice little cut slide job, if you want to call it that, over the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. That's going to bring Cody McKinney P1 for it looks like our 4th lead change of the night, I think that was. This time going to the 28 of Cody McKinney. It's going to be your 3rd overall race leader on lap 31. Remember, we got stage break here in 10 laps coming up at lap 40. So be prepared for that. These guys are going to be racing with these fresh tires up until lap 40. Remember, oh, it gets really close. That's Brody Hanna. Almost touches and makes contact with the 28. Checks it up just enough to let the 28 by. Now John Gifford on the top here of Brody Hanna in turn number 1. Trying to take away that 3rd place position there, Tim.
Yeah, like this has just been an amazing battle between this top 5 since we went back green flag racing. As we do see my pick, Tommy Schaefer, battling it out with Cody McKinney, with Tommy being on the top side here. Going to see if he can try to get that run on top. It seems like the best place to be is on top, as you absolutely get a better run off of these corners here. Definitely going to see maybe the 23 and the 46 will go up there together to try to work with that 29.
Yeah, for multiple reasons, Tim. It is much better to be on top. You have more control over, certain situations, like running down the 28 here, Timmy. The 29 of Tommy Schaefer, your pick. Going to try to pass the 28 with Brody Hanna, give them all the draft. Entering turn 3, they're dead heat coming to turn 4. There's just a bunch of trucks on top. It looks like a little bit of a freight train action trying to happen to the line, nose to nose. 2 1,000ths of a second separate the 28 and the 29. The nod going to Cody McKinney. Still going to have a total of 4 complete lead changes as they're still side by side. John Gifford in the 46 trying to look down and then backs out of that. It's going to stay in line until turn 3. Goes to the white line on the bottom. And we see another truck coming through the back. Looks like behind the 20 or the 19 of Richie Coy now. And trying to pass. Is that the 22 there? Or 32? That's the 32. Randy Henshaw with some excellent speed out of nowhere. Is there 3 wide, Tim, entering turn 1?
Absolutely. Like I told you, there are going to be some trucks that are going to make their presence known when it needs to be known. And absolutely, Randy Henshaw has been doing that here, as we do see them 3 wide down the backstretch into 3, with the 46 in the middle and the 19 on top. And it looks like he's going to pull away with the 4th place spot here out of turn number 4. And he's not done yet, as he's going to pass the 23 of Brody Hanna right now. Wow, where did that truck come from? Another Roasted Gems truck just flying. I wonder how much coffee he had before this race.
Well, I'm pretty sure he made that pit stop. That's why those tires are holding up way better than everybody else, and he's just driving around them like they're sitting still. He's trying to go 3 wide once again. Has to back out of it this time around. You have 4 sets of tires, 134 laps of Las Vegas. If it goes green, this is a much better call. You know, he's going to come down pit road, get new sets of tires. And if it goes green the rest of the way, he's going to put himself in a really good position here for the long stint, stage number 2. Right now, kind of bottlenecked here with the leaders side by side. Nowhere to go, but he's going to try to force it once again. 3 wide. He's looking anyways. Backs out of it, goes in line. As we're coming up to the line with 3 laps to go, Tim.
Definitely loved how he, chose that strategy to pit and get those tires just to see, what it could do, because now he knows for later on in the race, should there be another yellow late in the race with like 20 to go, and a lot of trucks do stay out, that he can pit. And as we see him going for the lead right now, sent it right in there going into turn number 1 under the 28, and it looks like he's definitely going to still have a battle, as he's going to be taking the bottom of the track here. Going into turn number 3, he is still neck and neck with Cody McKinney, but he does have that 23 of Brody Hanna with him, and the 28 truck on the top does have Tommy Schaefer, but it looks like off of turn number 4, the 32 will have the edge, and he will lead that lap.
2 laps to go for stage break. What excellent racing we are watching here, really through the top 10. What our cameras are focused on this race lead. We 2 and 3 wide for like the past 10 laps or so. One of the best races we've seen for early on, right before a stage break. These FTR boys are getting it done, and getting it done clean for the positions anyways, as the 32 and the 28 still side by side. Randy Henshaw did get the nod last lap, so the 5th lead change of the race. And I think Cody McKinney by 5/1000 does get it again, so make that 6 lead changes. These guys aren't done. This is for the final lap of the stage. 28 is going to get that momentum on the top. I just don't know if he can do it this time with the 32, because he gets a strong one off of turn number 2. Coming through 3, quarter entry. They are side by side, dead heat. 32 is a little check up there. The 28, I think, is going to have the momentum coming off the corner. A little loose and actually not going to get a job done. Randy Henshaw with the fresh tires gets to the line. Going to beat out Cody McKinney by 16/1000ths of a second. What an awesome race to end stage 1 here.
That was honestly immaculate. You couldn't script a better stage. Hopefully we do see that at the final checkered here, but that just goes to show that how powerful, even if you have 5-10 lap newer tires here, what they're going to do. And just heading over to the Facebook chat here while we do have a second. Dominic Lee, my guy Tim Tripler sounded good up in the booth. Keep up the good work, boys. I really appreciate you, Dom. I can't wait to talk to you later, brother. Appreciate the support here.
Also on the YouTube side, Braden Ron once again saying unlucky Kyle, but good run. And Jessica Stubblefield saying, move on up, Timmy. I don't know. He's doing decent. He's in 16th place right now. He did start 25th, so he's up 9 positions. I think when that truck's clear of all the midfield-ness and you can get some single file racing going on, I think Mr. Stubblefield has a decent chance. But these guys are winding down, going to take their pit stops. We're going to go back to commercial break, and we'll be back after our few messages. And back to full screen coverage here once again at the FTSR Martin Sports Truck Series. As we are wrapping up the end of stage 1, you see on your screen the 22, last week's winner, Michael Blackner. Can barely read that door number, but he did get awarded with the Martin Sports hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog Award as he gets the lead lap back, currently sitting in P20 on the boards as he's coming up to the line for the 1 to go before we go back to green flag action. And this is going to be for stage 2. Stage 2 of 2. So we're going to go the rest of the way. We're going to go from lap 46 and head over to lap 134. So just shy of 100 laps. A much longer stint than stage 1. A stage break usually happens a third of the way through and you can go 2/3 the rest of the way. A little bit longer of a stage 2 this time that we've seen from the previous 2 races this season. Tim, our picks are still doing good. Their trucks look clean. They look fast, and they're P2 and 4. My playbook usually doesn't work as well as it is tonight. What do you think of yours?
You know, I went with him last week, and he absolutely did not disappoint, so that's why I doubled down this week. And again, he is not disappointing. But what I will say is never count your chickens before they hatch, especially when they've been battling as much as we've seen them battle up front this race here tonight. Definitely could, you know, in the snap of your fingers flip, but I definitely like both of our chances. Maybe for a 1-2 finish here with my guy Tommy Schaefer up front.
Not counting your chickens. That's why you're not getting that Chick-fil-A dinner tonight. You called that about, what, 35, 40 laps ago? But
Yes, sir.
green flag about to fly here. Pace car takes that really abrupt corner. I don't know why he cuts it so hard. He has all that space in the world, but green flag is flying before it's flying. Green flag is officially out in the session. The 28 and the 23 have a really solid equal restart for this point as the 23 is not letting him go entering turn number 1. Still at his door panel. The whole field still 2x2x2 for the most part. Coming off of turn number 2, the 28 just cannot clear the 23 of Brody Hanna that time. Coming off into turn number 3, Tim, still side by side.
It looks like that 29 of Tommy Schaefer is pushing that 23 of Brody Hanna on that top side, as it looks like we did have a little bit of a wiggle from that 32 of Randy Hinshaw on the bottom there, and that's definitely going to create some gap for the 28 to have to work by himself on that side draft with that 23 of Brody Hanna to see if he can take away the lead. But right now, the best spot that I would personally love to be in would be where that 29 is sitting, because you want those two in front of you to burn up their tires. Even though they are fresh, brand new Goodyear Eagles, you definitely want them to work on that and race each other as hard as possible so you don't have to worry about using your tires as much.
Yeah, I think like the 46 at Gifford, he's in a great spot just running by himself. Still has the draft help to keep up with these top 3, but he's not having to shift lanes up, down, you know, trying to squeeze where he can. He's just kind of running his race. We're still on board here with Tommy Schaefer on that 29, looking up to the 28 and the 23. As Gifford now is going to try to take the top side of Tommy Schaefer here. As we pan our camera to the right, and there he is, that red and white. Number 46, looking pretty strong off of turn number 4, is going to get a great launch. He gets to the mid part of the tri-oval, and he starts to lose a little speed, but as soon as he gets to the exit there, you see him just zoom by in that little short straight. That skin, by the way, a little bit of a Days of Thunder vibes coming from my producer in my ear, which he is not wrong. Very much looks like one of those cars out there.
Absolutely, one of my favorite movies, and you know what, maybe we could have seen in one of those earlier wrecks here, somebody just riding that line just to get through it. But you know, unfortunately for them earlier, it was an early end to the race, but definitely been a clean race since then, as I believe Scott did say when he stopped by the booth earlier, that, you know, maybe they were just getting out their jitters, and since then it has been fairly clean. So did see the nose of Brody Hanna get a little bit loose as maybe he touched the apron there, coming off of 2, as it looks like the 46 now is able to get on the bottom of him, and it looks like he's going to be able to clean past him coming off of 4.
46. Oh, and Brody Hanna, the 23, up against the outside wall off the exit of turn number 4. We're 3 for 3 for seeing some type of incident here off the exit of 4. That's going to drop Brody Hanna back about 7 or 8 positions here, coming through 1 and 2s. We got it on replay. 23 just, it looked like he was going to make the corner, then the truck I don't know if he had a slight wiggle or if he just got really tight, but that thing shoved up real fast to the outside retaining wall. Hit it pretty decently. We'll see how that truck looks, after a few laps has run. But the leader, the 46, John Gifford, heavy impact to the outside wall. It looks like the 28 just didn't give the 46 enough room or some type of miscommunication on the track. Made contact just to his right rear quarter panel, sends the 46 flying all four wheels off the track. Huge wreck here for the 28 and the 46, your two race leaders.
And it looks like the 29 of Tommy Schaefer might be done as well, as there is smoke coming out of the engine of that truck as he did hit the wall. It looked like he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was your pick there too. You see it right there, just the 46. It almost looks like he was trying to move up a little bit higher. 28 didn't have anything of it, and as you kind of see the camera cut off from the 28, you see a lot of debris flying on that camera. That means that's the 29 and the 28 making their contact. Sends the 29 hooked right into the outside wall, just past the start-finish line as well. Brings out your fourth caution presented by Roasted Gems Coffee, and you see it right here. Back to slow motion, and just at the right rear tire. Just, 1 second to spare. He would have been cleared, but the 29 smashes the outside wall there. Heavy damage. You said you saw smoke from that truck, so that means it's all but done for that machine. That's 2 times now we've seen the top 10 getting some type of incident. Here's one more view here from Tommy's roof camera.
Yeah, absolutely unfortunate. Like I said, though, you do not count those chickens before they hatch, and that is unfortunately why, as he did go hard into the wall, but that was a tremendous hit. As we said earlier, we're glad these trucks are virtual, because that 46 did take a monstrous hit into that front stretch wall there.
That was a massive impact there. We're going to kick it back to another picture-in-picture as we take a few more laps around this caution break. We'll be back with you before the green flag flies. And we're back to full screen coverage here as we got about a lap and a half, I think, before we go back to green flag racing for the 5th time this evening. And we're going to kick this part of the broadcast off with our Nerd TV Top 10 recap. We're going to highlight the top 10 drivers currently sitting 1 through 10 in the field. Ryan Chapman, your current points leader through 2 events. Going to be starting this race in P1 after some incidences there from the top 3. In that last wreck. Second place, Randy Henshaw. We saw him fly through the field before the caution flew out 2 cautions ago, or the stage break rather. He had fresh set of tires to get him in position. He's still got 2 tires behind the wall. He's looking really strong in that 32 machine. Brian Bliss, who missed a wreck about 20 laps into this race, able to bring himself from 19th to 3rd place. Excellent run here for that 3 machine. 4th place, Richie Coy. We've had a couple of strings of bad luck here in the truck series. Been trying to collect all the laps and run inside the top 10, and right now he's doing so. 55 laps in, running in 4th. Steve Ang in 5th place, 30 positions up. Started 35th in the top 5 right now. That's 69, looking bad fast at the moment. Sherwood Williford, 6th place. The number 2 of Alan Duranko is going to be starting in 7th. Timothy Stubblefield, shout out to Stub Nation there for Jessica in the chats, 25th to 8th. He's going to start inside the top 10. 9th place, Maxwell Solsch, another one of those guys in the back, 29th to 9th. 20 positions gained from Maxwell. And to round out the top 10 for the Nerd TV top 10 recap, TJ Bartell, fastest in practice, started 12th, currently running in 10th, running a pretty solid race overall for that number 1 machine. As we're going to watch the pace car dip down, going to get this 5th start underway. New set of leaders to take the green flag here. As you see, the green flag is already in the air, halfway down the backstretch, because Patrick just likes to keep that flag out as much as he can, waiting for the official session to go green, which is out right now. The 27 with a delayed start. It's going to allow the 32 of Randy Henshaw to keep exactly with him door to door as they come to turn number 110.
It looks like we are going to have another clean battle going into turn number 1 here with that little shakeup here. And, back in the picture is that number 3 of Brian Bliss. And he likes to make an appearance here and go full out. And from here on out, he's going to be very exciting to see. I think, since Tommy did wreck out, I think my new pick here is going to be that 3 of Brian Bliss going forward here. But definitely impressive to see, as we touched earlier, that 69 of Steve Ange running up here in the top 5. What a drive he's done so far, up 30 spots here, but running, it looks like driving away just a little bit here would be that 27 of Ryan Chapman, as he looks like he has nothing to worry about in his rear view yet, just about a truck length and a half back to 2nd and 3rd from him right now.
Quite a few of our fastest drivers here in the start of this race have kind of wiped themselves out, and now it's allowed for a fresh set of trucks here, so we don't know exactly how they're going to run in fresh air. Ryan Chapman feeling the most of it right now, leading the pack of the charge. It's all single file. You see the 28 exit pit road there on the bottom half of your screen. So coming on the exit of turn number 2. Looks like the 32 Randy Henshaw just slightly better than the 27 through turn 2. But I'm excited to see the 3, your new pick, Brian Bliss. We've watched this guy race in and race out, and he's been doing some pretty decent racing. But we haven't seen him get that W, and it would be awesome to see number 3 of Brian Bliss get a win here at FTSR during one of our broadcasts anyways, as he's putting a charge on the 27. Almost looks to the inside, but he's got the 19 Richie Coy just on his bumper here, exiting 2.
Yeah, of course, and right behind him, we definitely have that 19 with that Martin Sports, that Richie Coy machine with Martin Sports. Our partners all over that thing. Going to see what he's going to be able to do, because he's been up here for the entire race. So with the 2 new trucks of Chapman and Bliss in front of him, and as well as Steve Ange behind him, it's going to be nice to see how that shakes up and how his truck compares to the new top 5, or the 3 newest of the top 5 here, as we do have some nice little battles for second with Brian Bliss going under the 32 of Randy Henshaw. Going to see if maybe he can get that run, but it looks like the 32 will shut the door coming off of turn number 4, and they'll just fall back in line, nose to tail here, going across that start finish line.
A lot more conservative of a race compared to what we saw before the stage break there. Just a couple of trucks are running too wide here for the most part, though. They are single files. You kind of get a glimpse of what it looks like behind the top 2 or 3 here is the Brian Bliss trying to take that 2nd place away from the 32 Randy Henshaw. Going back to the chats, Braden Ron saying let's go Chapman, and Jessica Stubblefield also saying you're doing great, Stubbs. Rooting you on. Still inside that top 10. Timothy Stubblefield residing in P9 this time around on lap number 62 of scheduled 134. So we're almost to the halfway point in this Las Vegas 200. And Tim, I think you have a couple chats there on the Facebook side as well.
Yes, I absolutely do. I have my friend Seth popping in. Says, Tim in the booth, this could be fun. And you know what? It absolutely has been a blast these past 3 weeks to be with these boys up here. It's been an honor. It's been a blast. And then we got Daniel Sweat he's going with Richie Coy in that 19 machine with Martin Sports, our personal partners as well over at C1S Racing. So definitely going to, want to see him finish up there so we could see Martin Sports towards that podium spot here. And I'm definitely looking at that Twitch chat too. And we got Tommy Schaefer in the chat Tommy said short-lived, but had a bad fast truck. And absolutely, you did, my friend. Like I said to you, you were my pick to win here. But unfortunately, you know, the racing gods just had somewhere else. But you know what? You'll be back here next week, and definitely gonna have a powerhouse to deal with next week for the rest of these guys.
Yeah, no fault to you, man. You did everything you could. You had the bottom of the track. You were doing fine. And just, you know, somebody else's incident takes you out. You do what you got to do, though. Great efforts nonetheless. We'll see you next Wednesday as you try to, you know, pick up your first W of the season. But heading back to the session, going through turn number 1, race leader still under heavy fire from that 32 as they're going past a lap truck here, that being Douglas and that number 20, who was a part of that very first incident on lap number 1 as he continues to go another lap down here. But Brian Bliss in that 3 truck still not letting go. He lost about a 10th on the 32 that lap, but don't count him out just yet. 19 and Richie Coy still running pretty conservative. You just talked about him running in 4th. And Steve Eng, I'm surprised, man. I know he was pretty decent in practice. He got a great camera shot there from Brian Bliss in that crazy helmet of his. But and Wario, that's correct. I was drawing a blank, but the W should have yelled at me saying Wario. But nonetheless, Steve Eng, I'm really surprised he's running top 5 and holding on. Wasn't sure how that truck was looking through practice and qualifying to run the top 5. And here he is doing a hell of a job keeping it up there. Draft is starting to play an issue with these trucks. We're seeing a couple of packs happen. Draft doesn't play an issue because these trucks are so drag worthy. You need a little bit of air taken from your nose to keep up with speed.
Yeah, absolutely you do with these trucks, but you know what? I do like how this top 5 here is just kind of slowly pulling away from that 2 of Alan Duranco here. And I like how, you know, they're not battling it out. So with that being said, they are able to, you know, just slowly, lap by lap pull away here, especially being, you know, in each other's drafts, as we do see that 32 of Randy Hinshaw. Every once in a while, he'll go up for some clean air. So, you know, that'd be something to look at. Maybe he's starting to run just a little bit warm for his liking. So just to make sure that nothing happens to his engine. He's definitely getting some clean air every time he does get behind that 27 of Ryan Chapman here. But it does look like maybe he's got something going up on that top here. Maybe he can, maybe he's looking for that run, or maybe he's looking like what we saw earlier, multiple trucks to go with you on the top. So it's going to be interesting to see because he's still up there, but nobody has gone with him yet. And it looks like the 19 of Richie Coy may actually be going with the 69 of Steve Ange to that top side. So we're going to see maybe they'll form a little pack racing here, go back side-by-side racing, as it has been pretty calm up here in this top 5 since we went back green flag racing.
Yeah, we saw a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing there in stage 1, and that outside was producing some crazy speed. And you're starting to see it come back here. The 32 moves up, now going to contend for over a lap now on that 27 of Ryan Chapman. The 3 of Brian Bliss, the 69 as well of Steve Eng. They recognize this and they're trying it. Brian Bliss did not have a great deal of luck there through turn 1, loses that position as the caution for the 5th time now comes out, presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. This time not coming from the race lead. We're going to take a look back and see where that came from. And it looks like turn 4, the 28 once again involved in a wreck. This time is going to come off the corner. Turn 4 is a crazy issue with these guys right now. I'm not sure if it's the visibility issue or just handling or the weather. It doesn't look like they're getting loose. They're just not seeing their opponents on the track. They're coming up off the corner. Boom, they're hitting the wall. They're hitting the fender. This time it's going to take out the 57, it looks like, in the 28 2-truck incident, or the 5th caution rather, for this evening.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the 2 just came together again. That right rear hook from that 59. It definitely is. It's been dangerous. We've seen it all race long. And as you said, that turn 4, it seems like that's where everything has been happening. So it's going to be very interesting to see if things continue to play out there off of turn number 4, especially that last, with how close our leaders have been battling, what's going to happen on turn 4 of that last lap here. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see.
I see a lot of trucks come down pit road. Look at that sole truck staying out. It's that 32 Randy Henshaw who was in 2nd place. I'm not sure the strategy call there. I know he came down right before that stage 1 break to get a set of tires. I know he had 2 tires left, so I think the camp's saying, hey, we got to bite the bullet on this one. We need to stay out, conserve them tires. Them cautions are coming out a little bit more than what we planned for. So the 32 will resume this race as your race leader when the green flag does fly for the 6th time. But Tim, that's a decent amount of laps on those tires. I expect him to fall back in a hurry.
You know, you're right. I do expect him to fall back as well. But the biggest thing here is we saw what he did before. We 100% witnessed how powerful that truck is once everybody else had some laps on their tires. So, you know what? With the draft being a little bit of a factor here, I don't think he's going to fall as much as, you know, we probably are used to seeing trucks fall with older tires. But I definitely do think it's going to be, you know, he's probably going to fall back to maybe the top, you know, somewhere around like 10th to like 12th or something like that. But I definitely do think next caution he will be the truck to watch here when he does pit for fresh tires. I do love that 32 though. That 32 is beautiful.
That is a very nice looking truck. Hopefully he can contend up front. We've seen the cautions fly. I think we might see another one if the trend continues the way it is. We're only on lap, 60 or 73 out of 134. So we still have 62 laps to go in this event. We're probably going to see another couple. So, I mean, if, let's say a caution comes out in 10 laps, everybody else pits, or if he pits only, and then it goes green the rest of the way, 32 might have a great run on his hands to contend for this lead, but temporarily going to be in a tough situation with the 27 to Ryan Chapman directly behind him. Want to give a quick shout out again to one of our sponsors, and we're going to bring it back to one of our Nerditude sponsors with Nerd Swag. Don't give these guys a shout out much, but the lineup of our swag is growing and more is to come, and we're expanding. Yeah, hats coming soon. You see the newer gloves we have there on that image just to the left of the shirt. I got a set of them in-house. Quite a few of us do here at the Nerds. And let me tell you, these gloves from Martin Sports, bar none, is going to be one of the best ones to get. It's got the digital watch on the wrist. Super comfortable, looks nerdy. It makes you perform better on the track. And then the jerseys, too, just top-notch apparel, the materials that they use. It's amazing. And there's a bunch of other stuff, too. You got, you got koozies, you got keyboard mats, mouse pads. There's a lot of different stuff there. Just take a look at it. And if you want to take a look, swag.nerditudes.gg. Keep it in your favorites tab, too. I'm only saying that because that list is growing of what we offer from there. So once again, it's swag.nerditudes.gg. We got less than a lap left before we go back to green flag for the 6th time. This time that 32 will lead him to the green flag, but expect that 27 to quickly take him over. Richie Coy has put himself in a good position. Except for this initial restart, he's starting behind the guy with the older tires, so he needs to make a move to the bottom or the top quickly as he can. It's going to leave Steve Eng in that 69. He might be in 2nd place after a lap on this session here, Tim.
Yeah, and as we touched on the Nerd Swag before, I actually do have a glorious pair of those Nerditudes gloves, and I actually had to break them in. So what I did was I got in my car and I drove 2.5 hours one direction just to break those things in, and they were the most comfortable things I've ever put on my hands. So get yours while you can.
Racing out there on the highway with some sim gloves there. That sounds like a great time. That's one way to break them in, that's for sure. But it's paying off, it sounds like, for you. And yeah, I'd have to agree. One of the most comfortable things to wear in your sim rig, or guess in your real car for that matter as well, just cruising down the highway. But we're back to green flag here. As it flies right now, we're going to see exactly what this 32 can do. See if it can hold anything within the top 5 in his first couple of laps. We're going to keep our eye on him. 27's in that preferred lane. You see 19 Richie Coy go to 3 wide early. Just can't squeeze the gap there. He recognized that 32's on older tires. Could not make the pass happen to 32, though, actually going to hold the lead, exiting turn number 2. Kind of surprising me there. But as these tire temperatures build up and these guys all around him, I'm sure this is going to be a quick drop back here for the 32.
Absolutely, and that was a smart move by that 19 of Richie Coy to analyze what was in front of him and drop back just a little bit there, because we do know that 32 is going to fall. How quick, we don't know yet. but we do know he is going to fall. And with that being said, it does look like, you know, he is holding his own up there. So we did know that it was going to take a few laps for him to start dropping. It looked like we got a little bit swirly there with the 69 and the 19, but it does look like the 19 now will take that bottom lane under the 32 of Randy Hinshaw, and he will secure that second place spot. So he is charging towards that front, towards that leader of the 27 of Ryan Chapman. Going to see if he can put that Martin Sports Ford F-150 in victory lane tonight in just a little bit over about 50, 60 laps to go.
Yeah, they're approaching, or have already approached the halfway mark in this race. Doing a great job, and actually he's going to go for the race lead here. Is Ryan Chapman a little slow off of turn 2. 19 Richie Coy's got a nose on him, exiting turn 4. Clears him. New race leader, 8th lead change of this evening. The 19 Richie Coy does take P1 for the first time this season, I do believe, overall through 2.5 races now. We'll see if he can hold that spot here. And Steve Eng really close to the Ryan Chapman, but Chapman with a huge run off of 1 and 2. Going to try to slingshot pass. Gets a little stale there coming to the turn 3 entrance. Steve Eng pushing the 19 down the back straightaway. Allowing the 19 to keep the momentum. Coming off of turn 4. Still going to hold race lead. Actually, a little side draft's going to be close, but Richie Coy still holds a lead through lap 78.
Best place to be is back in 4th place with that 3 truck of Brian Bliss. He is watching these top 3 just fight it out. And what that's doing is that's just eating their tires. As we did see, you know, that 32, he's still in 4th, even though he is on some of the oldest tires in this field right now, because he did not pit under that last caution. So, like I said, that 3 truck is in that best spot to watch the top 3 fight it out, wear out their tires, and maybe we'll see him pounce and drive away here in just a few short laps.
We're back to really racy 2x2 action here. The top 4 just trying to figure out who wants to lead this race. 19 Richie Coy has the premium position right now. Really love to see this. Next to the 27, Chapman gives 19 to Richie Coy. A little bit of a bump there. Getting to turn 3 kind of separates Richie from the rest of those guys right behind him. Headed back to the chats. Jennifer Ray in the chats once again saying, let's go Stub Nation. Also with Jessica Stubblefield saying, you're doing great, Stubbs. Keep up the work. As he's at his race high right now at 7th place for Timothy Stubblefield. Your driver's creeping up a little bit more and more. If he gets another 1 or 2 of these cautions, we might see that number 12 truck be inside that top 5.
He is definitely pushing towards it here, going under that 32. Looks like he's going to be able to clear the spot off of 4, and maybe he's going to try to make that pass on that 1 of TJ Bartel up front here to get into that top 5 and crack that top 5 for the first time in this race. But it has been an absolute amazing thing to watch him drive through this field up here, starting back in the 25th starting position. And it looks like he may actually try to get that run down the top. And it looks like the 1 truck does have just a slight little bit of right side damage. So maybe that is going to help that 12 of Timothy Stubblefield to try to get that run off of 4. It looks like he is going for it. And we'll see if he can complete it going into turn number 1, Jeremy.
He makes that pass. I said another caution or 2, and he'd be in the top 5. Well, he just said, I heard you and I got you, and did it within 2 laps after me saying that. So number 12, Timothy Stubblefield, does crack the top 5 for the first time, and he's on a mission. I think now if he gets a caution break, we might see him contend with these top 4 who now separated themselves over a second over this large secondary pack here. Don't really call it a pack racing at a 1.5 mile track, but it almost looks like it. 4 up front, you got about 8 or 9 trucks here in pack 2, and then there's another pack a few seconds behind them. So kind of a spaced out field after this 5th restart. But if friends hold their own, we might see another one.
Yeah, it has been a very trendy race. We have seen, we've seen the same style of incident coming off of turn number 4 here. But, back to that front, we do have that 19 just steadily holding his own over the 27 of Ryan Chapman, the 3 of Brian Bliss, and the 69 of Steve Ange, with the 12 of Timothy Stubblefield making his way towards them little by little by little towards this top 4 group here.
Yes, he's now just under 2 seconds back of 4th place, Steve Eng. pretty racy stuff here from the 2 of Alan Duranco and the 0-2 of Josh Mayu. They're duking out for 7th place right now. Jeff Brayton, the 55, also right behind him, looking to try to capitalize on whoever does make that pass. Does he take that same lane and make that pass happen for him as well? As he's patiently awaiting. These guys have been side by side, Tim, for I think about 3 or 4 laps, if I'm not mistaken, just not letting each other go. As you see, the 2 almost make the pass attempt efficient. Oh, then you can see the 20 truck there. That's actually a lap truck. Douglas Hess, once again, falling another lap down. Quickly, crisis averted, but they're still side by side, if not a little 3-wide stint there.
It has been an absolute pleasure to watch these guys, go side by side with respect, give each other room when needed, and we have seen this this race go pretty smooth for the most part. We have had a few of our incidents there, as we've been mentioning, but this side by side racing has continued for 90% of this race here, and it has been a pleasure to watch. Watching this 2 truck, this is a beautiful 2 truck here. As we've talked about it, I believe the last time we touched on it was Daytona. That color combo is absolutely amazing, and it looks like he was able to complete that pass for the moment on that 1 of TJ Bartel going into turn number 2, coming into the backstretch.
Yeah, he completed 7th, and now he passed 6th, so lone position holder number 2 in 6th place, and now he's right behind the back bumper of that 12 Stubblefield. Looks like Alan Duranco's got a pretty strong long-run truck here, as he is right on that back bumper of the 12. You're looking back from Timothy Stubblefield at the number 2. Great launch off of 4. You just see how much he can gain. Looks slow, try to make the pass here. Entering turn 1, almost clears him completely. Coming to turn 2, just so close, but not able to do it this time around. I think he's going to be able to do it here 3 and 4. As that truck just looks super strong. There he goes. Clear high if he wants to move up top. The 0-2 is also going to try to pass the number 12, as the 12 now starting to fall back a couple positions.
Absolutely. And looking over at this Facebook chat here, we have Dustin Sorber. Looks like his pick is also that 19 of Richie Coy. So it looks like a bunch of the TNS boys have come in here and all picked that Martin Sports number 19 Ford F-150 to win tonight's race here. But like you said before, it has been a great battle, great time watching Alan Duranco slowly work his way towards the front of the pack here, towards this broken away top 4. He's got a little bit over 3.5 seconds to do so, but I definitely think maybe if a caution comes out, he will be a contender to run away with him once we go back green flag racing.
This is one of the better racing events going on the track right now. The top 4, you see them right there on the up half of your screen. They're still single file. They're just running smooth. They haven't changed any positions. They're just doing their thing, taking down some laps, as we're currently 91 laps in of 134. So we got about 44 laps remaining, 43 at the line here. And so you're looking on back from the number 19's roof camera at the number 27 of Ryan Chapman, who's looking to extend his points lead coming into this event tonight. 4 points over Tommy Schaefer, who got involved in that wreck about 30 laps prior. Michael Blackner's had some issues too. Michael Blackner still on the lead lap, 16th place though. So as long as Ryan Chapman can complete this race, this guy is going to gain a lot of points over these guys there, Tim.
Absolutely. With the amount of cars that we do have out of the race due to accidents, we have just a little bit over, I'm going to say about 12 of them out of the race so far here. Definitely going to be a good points net regardless for that 27 of Ryan Chapman. But it would definitely be great to see, the 3 of Ryan Bliss get it done here tonight, or the 19, as everybody on the Facebook chat is going for the 19 of Richie Coy to see him get it done in victory lane. And who knows, maybe we'll have Mr. Scott Martin himself pop back in if this 19 truck does win.
Yeah, apparently you can never know when that guy's going to pop in and out. Completely took us by surprise. And he's not currently sitting here, but you never know. He might pop in and find us. The 19, Richie Coy, does have about a 5 truck length space now over the 27. The 3 was temporarily there, then had to back off entering the corner. Cleared up any type of pressure from the 27. The 69, Steve Ang still holding strong there in 4th with 31 positions advanced from the start of this race. 95 laps to go, as you're seeing the 17 go a lap down here. That's Mr. Steve Loomis. That truck currently going back through the boards here. Just a few laps down, or actually, no, it's 27 laps down, so way back there. Currently running in 22nd place. The 69 trying to move up the track a little bit, though. Trying to get some speed on the upper half of the track. It's going to get a good launch at the number 3 here, Brian Bliss. I don't think he's going to get to the bumper this lap around, but I think that 69 is one of those trucks that are waiting on this long run, Tim. He's just patiently waiting his time, and I think we'll start to see him pick off some drivers here soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that the 27, we do see a gap between the 19 and the 27 now, as we do see maybe the 27 did burn up his tires a little bit earlier than expected. It looks like the 3 of Brian Bliss is trying to make a run on the bottom of him as well. So it is going to be interesting to see. Maybe the 27's just saving up because he noticed that, there hasn't been a caution in a while, so maybe we do go green to the end here. And, this series is known for its long green flag runs. Tonight has been a little bit of a chaotic night towards the earlier parts of the race here, but definitely going to be interesting to see, as we do see that 3 truck making the dive to the bottom of turn number 3 under the 27 of Ryan Chapman here, and maybe he can get it done, but the 69 up top may give the 27 the run he needs off of turn number 4, and it looks like the pass will not be completed just yet, but definitely going to be interesting to see what happens going down here into turn number 1, Jeremy.
This is exactly what the 19 Richie Coy wants to see, is these guys going side by side. It's allowed Richie Coy to get almost an entire second over these 3 in the 27 as they're heading down the back straightaway. Still side by side. We're going to have to do some 3-wide split here with the 20 truck. No! Ryan Chapman backs out. Not enough space. The 3 of Brian Bliss uses the 20 as a pick. So the lap cars are playing a little bit of effect in this race. 27 coming up on Chat. Not the most happy about that situation. And definitely lost second place and third place. Steve Eng now resides in third after that, and then the 27 is about 6 or 7 truck lengths back. So that was a big swing of momentum there for the 27.
What a drive it's been from that 69 of Steve Eng tonight. He has been, he started all the way back in 35th, and he's now up to 3rd. So 32 spots gained here in just about 100 laps here, as we do come to lap number 100 now, this time by. And it has been an incredible night to watch him drive all the way from the back to the front here. Definitely had a little bit of help from those wrecks, but definitely cannot take away from his driving ability, as he's still hanging up here in 3rd place. Maybe just waiting for the 3 to burn up his tires, or maybe he's going to work with the 3 to catch that 19 of Richie Coy, who has driven to about a second lead here, coming to lap 101 this time by.
And we talked about during the pre-race too, that we've seen a lot of drivers start in the back, come to the front, and a lot of the front come to the back. I know we have had some incidences in between this race, but 4 trucks right now that reside in 9th place or higher started in 21st or worst, especially that 69 truck with 32 spots gained. Crazy run by that truck. But I want to do a quick shout out this time to one of our sponsors, the Butt Kicker, haptic transducer feedback system that attaches to your center post of your gaming chair and produces all the real bumps and feels of the track. So if you're looking to perform at your peak performance and feel like you're actually part of the race itself in the real world, this is the best product to make that happen for you as close as it can. And you're going to head over to thebuttkicker.com, pick up yourself one of the haptic transducer feedback systems on their website. Once again, thebuttkicker.com. Going back to the race, the 3 and the 69 are side by side. See if Brian Bliss can take back second place. Gets a great run off of turn 4 and is able to temporarily hold that position. Brian Bliss, your new pick, P2. But Tim, these guys side by side, I mentioned that a few laps prior. Mr. Richie Coy's already gained a full second after that 7/10 of a second boost. So he's almost 2 seconds now above these guys, as the 19 is starting to sail away from you.
Absolutely, and if the 19 was thinking about it, the best thing for him to do right now is with that 2-second gap here, and especially with the 27, the 69, and the 3 for 3rd and 2nd here, racing pretty hard. The best thing for that 19 of Richie Coy to do would be to, maybe save a little tire, see what he's got for the end here, because, with a little bit under, with about 34 laps or 30 laps to go here, it's definitely going to be interesting to see maybe a caution does come out. Like I said, you don't count those chickens before you hatch. So if I was the 19 of Richie Coy, I would definitely be backing up my corners, definitely saving a little bit of tire here, because you don't know if the 3 or the 69 have been saving tire. You don't know their strategy. So definitely going to be interesting to see how the remaining 30 laps here of this race do play out. And I definitely think, you know, if it keeps going the way it is with that 27 completing the pass just now on that 69, with them racing back there, I think Richie Coy is in a beautiful spot.
As we're just under 30 laps to go, kicking it back to our YouTube. We got Amarelli back in the chat saying glad to see Stubbs in the top 10 as the Stub Nation is starting to pick up their voices a little bit more. But we got some pit stops underway. Steve Eng, the 69, coming down pit road. Maxwell Solsch gives up 9th place, it looks like, as well. He's going to come in for a pit stop. 2 trucks entering pit road this lap around. So green flag pit stops are underway. We'll see what this looks like as we've seen some strategy plays. Even just last week, we saw some people pit late, try to make a run back, and just couldn't do it in time. We see some other guys pit early and gain a couple spots. So once you see trucks come down pit road, you have to jump on it early, or else that might be a deal breaker for your team.
Definitely could be a deal breaker for your team, and you also got to think about it too. We have had quite a bit of cautions here tonight, so you got to think how many trucks have actually taken those tires previously, how many sets are actually left in that pit stall. So if you pit now, you still have about 28 laps left on your tires here. What are you going to do if a caution comes out with like 5 to go? Me personally, I would want those fresh tires sitting there at the end. So I like how right now, as it stands, we do see that 19 of Richie Coy staying out. He might not have another set of tires left in his pit box, but I do think staying out right now would be the best call, especially because he still does have over a 2.5 second lead over Brian Bliss and Ryan Chapman. And then from there back, you do have that 0-2 of Josh Mayu, who is about 3.5 seconds behind third place Ryan Chapman.
I've got my eye on the 32. I know he did not pit that last caution and gave up a ton of ground, but this truck, I think he was floating around 8th place or so when he pitted on lap 95. So he's already got 13 laps on this new set of tires, but he's gained all that time around. So when these leaders start to pit, I'm kind of curious to see where this 32 is going to end up. He's been consecutively running much better times for the past 12 laps. So temporarily keep your eye on that 32, see how that strategy pays out for that team. Remember, he came down pit road in 8th place. So any positions gained from there is great, but at the same time, you still have to hold off the field for an additional 25 laps with older tires at that point. So it could be paying off, could not. Maybe gets him a top 5. We'll find out here as everybody else needs to come down for pit road. Going back to the 19-year race leader, we usually see Fury Motorsports come down earlier than later, but right now this 19's holding strong with that now 3-second lead over second place Ryan Chapman. You know, I guess if you have a great lead, you don't want to give it up, but at the same time, you can't stay out too long because you know that 69's got a bad fast truck. He came down pit road, so he's going to put some pressure on these guys if they don't come down soon.
Absolutely, absolutely do think he, honestly, looking at the lap times here, he's only about 0.2 quicker than guys that have fresher tires, or 0.2 slower than guys that have fresher tires right now. So personally, I think with the gap that he has, which is now about 3 seconds, I definitely think he's in the perfect seat. I do not think he has to pit yet, but the good news is that if a caution does come out here in the next few laps, he will be able to go get those fresher tires versus some of these other drivers that may have just used their last set. So I do think that strategy call to stay out right now for this 19 of Richie Coy is definitely going to be a good one. And maybe we do see this Martin Sports Nerditudes Ford F-150 in victory lane here in just a few short minutes.
Solid chance for him right now. I did mention the 32 strategy. If you kick it back over to him, he's behind the 69 of Steve Eng, who is running in 3rd. So at the moment, at least, he's going to be floating around between 3rd and 4th place once everything cycles through. He is losing ground, though. He is on older tires, but temporarily picking up a few spots with just over 20 laps to go in this event. This might be paying out for him. As long as everybody else comes through pit road and makes a clean stop, it'd be really close to see. I'm going to still keep my eye on that 32. We're still waiting for these leaders to make their final pit stop. Richie Coy is still on the track. Ryan Chapman still hanging out in second. Brian Bliss in third. Josh Mayu has picked up fourth place as everybody else between third place and himself have pitted. So we still got about 11 drivers, it looks like, that need to come down pit road before this thing is fully cycled through. 54, Rick Webb, he's in 11th place. He does give that up to make a pit stop. So now the top 10 is left to come down pit road.
Yeah, of course, and it was just a sketchy moment here for our leader in the 19, as he was 3 wide between that 33 and the 18 truck right there for a brief second here, and it did play out nicely for him. He was able to not lose really much time to Ryan Chapman here in that 27, so it is going to be very nice to see what does go on here
Oh,
for the remaining few laps.
Loose in the back, just behind the 19 as well. You don't want to see that in your mirror, but he's able to save it. Looks like it's going to be Leonard staying there, and the truck number 9 got hit really loose off of turn 4. Able to hold on to it, thankfully, so no caution at the time being.
Looks
as
like
he is
he
back
touched the
up to
banking.
speed almost.
It looks like he touched the banking off before, trying to maybe take a pit stop, but that's what it looked like as I was watching that 19 there. And it looks like Timothy Stubblefield has just announced that he will be pitting. So it's going to be nice to see what happens, as he is currently sitting P4 as he does come down pit road here.
Number 3, Brian Bliss does as well, so that's going to be second and fourth place respectively, coming down pit road for the final service of their crew members, and if it remains green the rest of the way, as we're just under 20 laps to go, 18 to go to be exact. We just have a handful of drivers left that need to come down pit road. Richie Coy is down pit road as well, actually, getting his service taken care of in the 19 Ford F-150. You see the 12 there, that being Timothy Stubblefield. Josh Mayu does resume now as your race leader. One of the few trucks to make their, or to have yet to come down for pit road. Anyways, you see the 33 Sherwood Williford leaving down pits as well. Still waiting on the 23 of Brody Hanna to make a pit stop. Michael Blackner, Lane Allen. Just a couple trucks left, and everything will be cycled through. But it looks like, Tim, everyone came down pit road nice and clean. Good to see, because this is actually the first green flag attempt at pit stops. I don't know how much practice these guys had, but it was enough. And Las Vegas produces a really easy pit entrance, too. So that kind of combination, you don't really need too much practice in comparison to some of these other venues we go out to each and every week.
You know, it is a much smaller transition from the banking to that pit road there, and you know, we did see that 9 truck get a little loose, and maybe he came in just a little bit hotter than he expected to try to come in there, but definitely is smoother than most of the tracks that we do see here, as we do see the leader now coming down pit road. So the 02 of Josh Mayu has just hit pit road.
One of the few guys to make their stops. I'm going to kick the action back over to the 69, Steve Eng. He is the furthest leading truck right now in that front pack before the pit stop started to happen. Right now, he's got a good distance over Richie Coy, almost the entire back straightaway. Right now, we currently have 15 laps to go as soon as he gets to the line. Richie Coy, who was your favorite, all of a sudden has almost an entire backstretch of space to make up in 15 laps. That's one of the penalties you have to pay sometimes if you stay out really late in the run. His tires are about, 10 laps fresher or more. So I know he's going to get there. Just how long will it be? Will it be 15 laps, or will he need more? This is going to come down to the wire here.
Absolutely, as we definitely are. I'm checking out to see where this 02 is. It looks like he's in turn number 2. And then we have this 19 right now. He looks like he will be coming out of turn number 4. So we're going to see how long it takes that 02 to get up to speed here, as it looks like the 69 does pass him for the lead. So now that puts the 19 back in second place. So now there's only about 1.9 seconds between the two of them. So we're going to see what Richie Coy does have under that hood here.
Checking over your last lap by, Richie Coy ran a 30.72. Your race leader, Steve Eng, once everything does cycle through, ran a 31.36. So over a half a second faster last lap by as they cross the line this time again. Steve Eng once again running a 31.3 to Richie Coy's 30.7. So once again, 0.6 faster. So I think he's actually going to get there. He's got about just over a half a back straightaway now. You see them all in the same camera pane. So I think he gave himself enough breathing room to get there. Just don't do it too fast and scrub that speed off your truck, or it's going to make it more of a challenge. So you got to play a little bit of patience game, but the 19, I think, will get there.
Absolutely. I think he's going to have a 100% challenge for that 69 truck in just a few short laps here. As it definitely looks like he is massively gaining coming off of this, coming off of turn number 2. So it's going to be interesting to see, will the 14 stay high? And it looks like the 14 will stay high, and as well as that 91 truck. So they both do stay high, and it looks like off of turn number 4, he's almost to the bumper here of that 69 of Steve Ang.
He gains a half of back straightaway distance in a lap and a half, and, well, made quick work of that as he's going around the 69. Richie Coy resumed as your race leader. And I have to correct myself. I said Fury Motorsports likes to come down early, but I also recall from last season or the past couple seasons, when Richie Coy is by himself and not around any teammates, he typically stays out and does this. He pits late. He gives himself enough time. I should have known that. He gives himself enough time to come back, pass everybody up, you resume the race lead with just a handful of laps left. Once again, he's doing it here. As long as the caution does not fly, I think he's fine. And also, if the caution does fly, he does have one of the freshest set of tires out there for the top 5 or top 10. So, in a really good spot regardless. And with just 10 laps to go, coming to the start-finish line, the 19 sitting real pretty right now.
Absolutely, that strategy that he played definitely played out to be 100% in his favor. Having that much fresher rubbers under that 19 truck. Gonna see, how far maybe that he could try to pull, or if I was him, honestly, what I would do is, you never know if there's gonna be a caution, so I would start saving maybe just a tiny bit. He did create about a second lead over that 69 of Steve Ang already, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see. Does he keep pushing to see how far he could stretch the gap? Or does he maybe think there's a caution coming out in the back of his mind down the road here and start saving just a little bit?
Well, I guess with the lead that you have, you're going to maybe want to save the tires a little bit. You know you got one of the faster trucks out here. Why use up your stuff when you got all that breathing room? He's already got a 1.5 lead over the 69. And then Ryan Chapman, who's 3 seconds back of second place. Huge variation in times here for second, third, and fourth. Really, the top 6 are within 10 seconds. Everybody outside the top 6 are over 10 seconds back to the race leader. So, post green flag pit stops, there is a huge space of distance between each car inside the top 10. Action really for position is back there for 7th and 8th place, as they're just a half a second off each other, but they're still on track anyways. There's a ton of space between the 02 and the 89 of Maxwell. So just going to be a clean race from here, looks like, unless there's a single truck incident somewhere. Don't see any side-by-side action. We are passing some lap trucks here and there, though, but so far they haven't played too much of a factor unless your name's Ryan Chapman. Getting pick and rolled there on the backstretch about 20 laps prior. I think Richie's got this in the bag.
Never count your chickens before they hatch. That's what I've learned, especially with these. You never know. He's definitely got a 2.5 second lead. That's a fact. But that could all change, like I said before, in the snap of your fingers. So I hope he pulls it through, because I'd love to see that Barton Sports truck here in victory lane tonight. But definitely, he's got to just keep in mind what's in front of him and what's behind him and what's going on the opposite side of the track from him.
And it's going to have seen this man in this position multiple times throughout the last year's broadcasting of the FTSR guys. And multiple times has this held true, but yeah, you are right. But I'm going to do that pre-pick. Hopefully the broadcaster's curse doesn't come in and anything happens. But he's now advanced his lead to 2.5 seconds over Steve Ang. Steve Ang has a 1.5 over third place Ryan Chapman. So once again, just really spaced out. We're just ticking down the laps. We are less than 5 to go, 4 to go for that matter. Coming up to 3 to go at the line. 19 just has to run that truck smooth. Haven't seen that truck in any situation be upset. It's just been run really solid. Not on the edge or anything. It's winding down. It's very, very calm race to end this thing. Is stage 1 was such a really fun and exciting race, and even parts of stage 2 early on, Tim. It was just an amazing race overall, and it's boiled down to this where everyone's just spaced out. So, what are your thoughts here as they come down for the final couple laps, rather?
Honestly, I think Richie did a very smart thing here with the way that he was able to, stay out for a little bit longer. He definitely got the jump on the guys as they wore down their tires because they pitted probably about like 10, 15 laps before he did. So it was definitely good to see him play out that strategy, and that strategy actually worked because you never know towards the end of some of these races how these strategies are going to work. But one thing I was just keeping an eye on here was the 2 of Alan DeRocco, the 89 of Maxwell Solch, and the 32 of Randy Hinshaw. They were just having a nice little battle here for what would be 7th place. And the 2 of Alan DeRocco definitely did get the best of that as he is driving away from that 89 of Maxwell Solch right now in 7th place.
As we have a half a lap left, camera is set on your race leader and probably race winner. As it is official, the next flag will end it. Will not matter. So as long as the 19 can make it through turn 3 and 4, which looks like he's have no problem doing. Martin Sports winning moment. It's going to belong to the 19 of Richie Coy. 3 race winners in the first 3 races of the season. After a couple of issues on the first couple of races, the 19 has found himself in victory lane, putting together a really beautiful set of 134 laps, coming from 7th place to get the checker flags this evening for the Las Vegas 200.
Absolutely was a great race to watch, and you know what? Maybe that good luck charm for that 19 of Richie Coy was Mr. Scott Martin himself stopping in the booth here a little bit ago here. So maybe Richie will ask for Scott in the future to pop in and scare us.
We'll see what he says after we get him in the Nerd TV booth and see what his entire opinion was of this race. It wasn't the easiest race for him in the first half. Was able to get the job done and made it look super easy in the second half. As he's doing his burnouts, we're going to go down the finishing order here for the 3rd race of the season. Richie Coy taking home P1. 2nd place belongs to Ryan Chapman. 3rd place, Steve Eng. 4th place, Brian Bliss. 5th place will be that 02 of Josh Mayu. 6th place, Jeff Brayton, starting from 24th up to 6th. Excellent job there by that 55 truck. 7th place, Alan DeRocco. 8th place, Maxwell Solch. 9th place, Randy Henshaw. Rounding out the top 10, Timothy Stubblefield for Stub Nation. Who do you got 11 through 20?
In 11th, we have the 18 of Joseph McKinney. Finishing 12th, we have the 23 of Brody Hanna. In 13th, we have the 66 of Shad Curran. In 14th, the 54 of Rick Webb. In 15th position, we had the 14 of Lane Allen. The 22 of Michael Blackner will bring it home in P16. The 33 of Sherwood Williford will bring it home P17. And in 18th, we have the 1 of TJ Bartel. 19th, we have the 7 of Brian Hoskins. And rounding out the top 20, we have the 20 himself of Douglas Hess.
21st, Steve Loomis. 22nd, Leonard Stang. 23rd place, Justin Diltz. 24th, Joshua O'Connor. Finishing 25th was Cody McKinney. 26th, Tommy Schaefer. 27th, and basically everyone on down has disconnected prior to the race end. John Gifford, 27th. Casey McMullen, 28th. 29th, Tony Solari. 30th, Kyle Milliken. 31st, Brandon Elder. 32nd, Bobby Terrell. 33rd, Gene Collum. 34th, Stephen Hollingsworth. 35th, Andrew Cowart. And my boy to my right-hand side, Mr. Tim Tripler, getting that 36th. All right, boys, we're going to take it to a commercial break for the final time. Full screen this time as we're going to gather our top 3 to have a word with them to see what their thoughts are of tonight's race. We'll be back on the flip side. Welcome back here this time for the Martin Sports post-race show as we're going to gather up our top three and have a word with them to see what their thoughts were of tonight's Las Vegas 200. I think we're going to be able to bring in third place finisher Mr. Steve Eng in that Pooji's Pizza Ria Chevrolet Silverado. Pudgies, thank you for the correction there. Mr. Steve, do you have a copy?
How are we doing, guys?
Doing pretty good, man. Welcome to the Nerd TV booth. First time we get to talk to you. I think it's our inaugural season, if I'm not mistaken, here over at Full Throttle Sim Racing. Just give us your overall thoughts. You started 35th, finished in the top 3 podium position, so just alone on that, that's basically a win. So congratulations on coming back from the very last position in the field. How'd you get the job done to get in the podium?
Yeah, I knew there was going to be a couple early cautions, so I wanted to definitely avoid the carnage. It was a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be. So I knew once we got that first caution that I had to start pushing towards the front. And I mean, there was two of them I was completely stopped in the track, just waiting. So I definitely got a little bit of luck on my side, and I think the setup helped a lot too.
Absolutely. It was incredible to see you start 35th and work your way all the way up. What is honestly, your secret towards that? Because obviously you have to take in tires, you have to take in, that green flag pit stop. So that all in all, that was a fantastic drive. What goes through your mind when you're sitting there and you're like, I've made it all the way up, and the pit stop, could change that. Do you stay positive, or you try to like short pit, try to change that up?
I knew I had to go before the leaders. The top 3 cars there started pulling away from me, so I knew I had to undercut them a little bit. I just didn't want to go too early, and I noticed as soon as I was pulling back out onto the track, Richie said he was going in, so I'm like, yeah, it's definitely gonna cycle through and probably get me, but I had to give it my best.
Of course, that was fantastic driving from earlier on in the race. I think at lap 40, I noticed you were sitting like mid pack, like about 14th through like 18th, and I had called it out then to notice that you were coming. So fantastic drive, and congratulations on the third place finish tonight, Jeremy.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Before I let you go, though, do you got anyone you'd like to thank out there that's watching Nerd TV with us?
Definitely, Chuck, Sally, everybody over at Pudgy's Pizza. Definitely couldn't do it without their support. So it's great to have them behind us.
Yes, sir. Great to have any type of partner behind you. And it's pizza, too. One of my favorite foods. Probably
Can't go
my
wrong.
favorite food, I guess, overall. But congratulations, man, once again. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
And that was Steve Eng there in that 69. I'm going to correct myself with the Pudgy's Pizza truck there. My favorite type of sponsor when you get pizza on board. Now time to bring in second place. Current points leader, Mr. Ryan Chapman there in the 27. You got a copy?
What's up, boys?
Hey, man, you're continuing that points lead. You came in 4 points up, and the guys right behind you did not finish. So you're getting a great deal of points on these guys tonight. We're almost a quarter of the way through this season, and you're looking really strong so far. What do you think of your chances going forward for the final or for the next 10 races, rather?
I'm excited, man. It's just there's something about this season that I had a good feeling about, and then once we got the win at Daytona, and then we got a fourth at Auto Club, and now second place. So I mean, we're just gonna keep chugging along and hopefully keep on going with it. But the setup tonight was on fire. Elite Industries Performance, they do a hell of a job over there with the setups. Proud to be running them and keep on running. Hopefully continue this top 5 streak and keep the points lead.
Absolutely, it was an incredible drive to see you up there and see you maintain the points lead after this race. My question to you would be, what's the game plan going into next week? Are you gonna be firing back just as hard, going for another win, or going for another win, your second of the season?
Always, man. Gotta
Alrighty.
get those wins. Gotta build up those points. Gotta build a good standing because you never know, man. One bad race and it could you could lose it like that. I mean, we saw it tonight. Some of my teammates got taken out in that first big wreck, and it can happen like that on the first lap. So my goal is to just keep it clean, keep on pushing, just try to keep these top 5s rolling. hopefully get some more wins on the board and just continue the points lead, man. We're going for that championship this year. We're so close last year. We got that taste.
Absolutely, and I know for a fact once you get that taste of it, it does not go away. It just gets better and better. So excited to see what you're going to be doing for the rest of the season. Jeremy?
Yeah, man. Just good luck the rest of the way through, and the floor is yours. Who do you got to think out there tonight before we let you go?
First off, I want to thank again Elite Performance Industries. Great setup. Definitely should shoot over there and check out them. Splash and Go again for the amazing paint. Glad to get it on the podium again. Get him some more exposure. Elite Elevated Outdoors, Elevated Esports Racing, my team. We got 213 Simwear, who now put out our own clothing, so we can wear that now, which is dope. And some other sponsors we have, but overall, everyone that just helps out on this team, and just Dills for bringing us all together again and going. Like I said, we're going for that team championship. We're going for that singles championship. We're rolling this year, so we're gonna keep it going.
Well, the momentum is definitely yours. Keep it going for sure through 10 more races to start off 2023. Good luck, team, man. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you, fellas.
Yes, sir. And that was Ryan Chapman, driver the number 27, 213simware.com Ford F-150. Now it's time to bring in your race winner. First time we're going to see this guy in our animated victory lane, Mr. Richie Coy. Welcome back to the booth, my guy.
What's up, nerds?
Hey, congratulations on the first one of the season. You finally strung a complete race with no issues, and you find yourself in victory lane. So congratulations, man. Wasn't the easiest battle for you for the first half, but that second half of the race, you just dominated that. What do you think the difference was? Was it some of the guys who got in the wrecks? Was it you just found something middle of the race, or was it somewhat of a mixture?
First and foremost, that was that hot rod that Brody Handa put under us, Team Fury. What a setup he made this week. He really worked hard, put in a lot of work on it, and it was just a rocket ship. But the race for me was a couple different parts. You know, that first part is up to the stage is for me completely different than it is from that stage to the end of the race, because you know, you got to get stage points and you're trying to get as much points as you want. So I was running up front, and then afterwards I'm like, I'm just gonna lay back a little bit and see what happens, and stuff happened.
Absolutely. It was fantastic to see you get that Martin Sports number 19 up towards the front, and then towards that end there. With that being said, were you a little nervous coming down to the end there with the green flag pit stops, or did you know you had it all along?
No, I'm always nervous. You never know exactly what's going to happen. And I was going as long as I could, because I only had one set of tires left in the pits. And if we had a really late race caution, I didn't want anybody who maybe saved the set to blow by me. So I wanted to have as much rubber left at the end. But then when Ryan pitted, I'm like, all right, I'm only going to go in one more lap, and I'm going in. We're going to pit, and we're just going to pray to the end. And it worked out.
Absolutely. Now, with that being said, we did have Mr. Scott Martin make his appearance here in the booth there in that race. So I had made the joke. I was like, oh, maybe we got to get Mr. Scott Martin back in here for the rest of the season for you. And with that being said, I think he did just make his way back in here.
Yeah, I see him. How you doing, Scott?
Hey, congratulations, Richie. Good race.
Oh, thank you, man. I told Dustin during the week, I said, you know, I painted up that car for you with Martin Sports, and to make it try nice and pretty. I got some plaid on there and stuff.
Huh?
But I told him last week, I'm like, man, I don't know what I got to do to get this Martin Sports truck up on the camera, but everything worked out tonight.
Well, yeah, it looks like it worked out pretty good for you. Congratulations. Love to see it up front. And man, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for running the name on the truck. Like, you guys don't know how much that means to me. We're just a little mom and pop shop up here trying to break it in with the big boys. Hey, so we appreciate the love and love to see that you have it on the truck. And it's even more fun when it comes in the victory lane. I love it.
Well, we truly appreciate Martin Sports coming on board for the truck series. I love the logo. I think it looks really great. Martin Sports Truck Series. You know, we're all hobbyists here, and all the support that we get from you for the truck series is fantastic too. And we really appreciate it.
Well, good job and congratulations. I didn't mean to hijack your interview, my man.
Not a problem. I appreciate it. Anytime, man. Anytime for you. It's not a problem.
Thanks.
Minus
Back to
the
you,
obvious.
boys.
Yeah, right. Minus the obvious plug there, Mr. Ritchie. Who else do you like to think that able to you to get this job done tonight?
Well, obviously, Martin Sports. Nerditudes. I believe Nerditudes is on the truck in the back of the truck there. So we thank you guys for doing a fantastic job. Dustin, the production looks fantastic. I like all the new stuff that you've done. Thanks to Fury Motorsports. They just put another rocket ship under us. I hate that we got tore up. Bobby got tore up, and Brody got tore up, and Tony got tore up because we all had the same setup. Then we were all going to be rocket ships. I wish we all could have ran together at the end there, but thanks to the league, thanks to everybody who watches, and yeah, that's it.
Hey, man. Well, congratulations once again. Go ahead and celebrate, and we will catch you on Monday.
Hey,
All right.
can I plug one more sponsor that I see rotating through the thing real quick?
Floor is
Is that
yours,
all
my
right with you
guy.
guys? All right, Team Watson Racing. If you guys don't have their setup this week at Vegas, you got to get it because I'm 50 years old and nowhere near good at this. And I've qualified on the Pole and C Open 5 times in the last 2 days with Kenny Brady's setup. So go over there, help my boy out. What is it? TeamWatsonSetups.com. What is it, you guys? TeamWatsonRacing.com. Sorry. Try to keep that straight next time. TeamWatsonRacing.com, guys. Go there. Grab this C setup this week. It is freaking fast, I promise. And Dustin, good job, buddy. That's
And
it. That's all I
his
had.
voice
Well,
comes through, but
yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
yes, sir. You're welcome. All right, Richie. Yeah, we'll catch you on Monday. See if you can get a good little streak going and get some points back in your name to try to go for that championship.
We're going to give it a shot. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, sir.
That was a fantastic race to watch here tonight, and the excitement we just had in the booth post race was fantastic.
Unexpected, but always welcomed. That was cool. That was unscripted there, but Mr. Tim, overall thoughts for tonight. How'd you think this race went for you?
I think it had a perfect mixture of everything I look for in a race. It had your cautions, it had your dramatic flares with the leaders getting taken out at one point of the race, and then it did have your long run strategies at the end, which in favor of the 19 of Richie Coy, that Martin Sports Ford F-150 was, you couldn't have scripted it better for him. With T1S being partnered with Martin Sports, definitely do love to see Martin Sports in victory lane as well as Nerditudes. So that overall, I think it was a fantastic race from start to finish. Like I said, had it flares for the dramatics, but definitely in the end, it was perfect.
Yeah, I loved it. There was so much action on the track and produced really great content. So if you're a fan that watched our broadcast tonight here at Las Vegas, this is FTSR. This is a great representation of how this league runs, and that's going to perfectly segue into our final segment where we'd like to thank everyone that allows us to do this every Monday and Wednesday for the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series. That being the league themselves, they've been doing this for almost 20 years now, since 2006. And if you want to join that 35 truck action pack there, almost an entire full pack. You can't put too many cars in this field before it's maxed out. So if you want to be a part of that action and fill the last couple gaps in, head over to FTSR.net. Shout out to Mach 1 Performance, the Cup Series sponsor every single Monday night. It's a race car fabrication shop. And so if you're locally in their area and you need your local car worked on to compete at your best performance on the track, head over to facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance. Sim Racing Points, all-inclusive league points management system that allows you to completely track your league stats and points with a simple upload. Visit them at simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, talked enough about them, but hey, why not? Top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. See their whole product line at martinsports906.com or martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, get notifications fractions of a second faster without ever leaving the focus off your monitor. Visit iRacingIFlag.com for a full product line. Butt Kicker, ultimate feel from the race car, directly into your sim seat with a haptic response transducer from the Butt Kicker. So go to thebuttkicker.com, see a full product lineup for your sim rig. Team Watson Racing Setups, get quality professional setups built for your asphalt oval needs. Visit teamwatsonracing.com for pricing and packaging. And lastly, Roasted Gems Coffee. Premium coffee beans roasted just for you. Start your day the right way with Roasted Gems Coffee. Please visit roastedgems.com to get a taste. All right, Tim, it's been fun. We do have to close this thing out, though. And we're going to catch you guys Monday here at Nerd TV for the Cup Series presented by Mach 1 Performance. Until then, this weekend, you guys stay safe and to always get your nerd on.